Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Retrotronic. And today we're going to be doing a
Hello.
little discussion video where we're going to be talking about how valuable are cases of video games these days in compared to back in the early 2000s and backwards. So, if there is something that I personally spotted in newer video games, is that when you get a new game, like let's say Xbox One or possibly a Wii U game and stuff like that, or even a PS4, the box feels really empty. Boxes for video games used to contain much more interesting stuff and felt much more valuable back then. The reason why I think that it was much more valuable back in the day was because it used to arrive with like posters or like, let's say, stickers, or and it used to arrive with like a booklet. The booklet was something that was very interesting about the certain game that you bought, because it contained a lot of cool stuff and facts about the game and stuff like that. And in your games, it's mostly maybe they'll slap a poster here and there, but that just a poster or just a downloadable content, and that is pretty much it. And it feels pointless to get a physical game these days than it was back in the day. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying on that part. I mean, I actually remember back when I originally got Pokken for Wii U, and it didn't come with like the instruction booklet for it at all, which was kind of weird. And it's something I've kind of noticed about that as well. Like in the early days of like say like the PS2 games, like they were so colorful and vibrant and all that. And then after you kind of got further into that, like they started to get like less. There started to be less and less until eventually there was just nothing now, and it's just like, why is that?
Here's what I have to say about this situation. I love the shit out of physical copies, no matter what. Because with the physical copy, there's something there that a lot of people love about that. But we are getting in an age where everything is going digital. People need to realize that. People kind of need to respect that and just move towards it. Now, that does not mean that you still won't be able to get a physical copy of something, but it just makes it more convenient for people to get it easier and stuff because they have other things to maybe do or see, or they have kids so they need to watch them and everything else like that. There's different things. And also with digital, or with gaming now in general, why it doesn't come with that little guide in there or that little manual in there is because it's already put in the game, so there's no point. There's no point to put that little 10-page paper or whatever in there, in the physical copy, because it's already going to be in the game, because the game already teaches you tutorials and stuff like that, how to do it now. Every single game that has come out has literally done that.
I understand that, and
But at the same time, what I'm saying is this too: is that you'll still be able to, like I said, you'll still be able to, if you want to get a physical copy of something, that digital copy can still, whether it's limited edition or collector's edition, blah blah blah, it'll still come with that poster or anything else, but people hold more value now, or not even now, even back then, that it was a physical copy. And we didn't have digital back then like that.
Yeah.
But now that we have digital, it's just that it's more convenient. And people are moving into that way, because look at everything else that is, going digital and doing it through the internet and everything else.
Yeah. What I was going to say, I understand what you're saying. I completely understand it. Even though, you know, video games used to have tutorials back then in game too, so it's like it was always there in video games. Some games were trying to make it a little bit hard on you, but it's just that it felt much more. I understand that, like, digital downloads are coming in right now, and they are much easier to buy games because it also costs less than a physical copy. The physical copy is probably like an extra $10 or a few more dollars, but you know, when you buy a new copy, when you bought new copies in the older days, you felt more satisfied with what you get physically. And now, as a collector for myself, I don't feel satisfied at all when I buy new games, because it feels like, you know, on one hand, I can still have the physical copy and then download the game digitally, but it's a waste of money, obviously. And I would always like to add more physical copies into my collection and possibly create a library out of it, but it's just like there was a certain charm in video game cases and what comes in those cases.
But that's what I'm saying. I can understand that perfectly fine, and that's why I made the point. I understand that there was something to it when people actually, you know, got the physical copy. There was more to it than that. But then once digital came along, you saw that even though the physical had a charm about it, and even though it had something about it that had people loving it, that it was just the digital was just being more convenient. Get me?
Yeah.
So there's charm in that and everything, but then there's convenience.
Yeah, it is much more convenient.
Because me, I still love physical copies as well.
I mean, yeah, for people who don't really have the time to go to the store and buy a physical copy, it's very convenient because there are a lot of people that don't get physical copies like that anymore, and it's much easier on them. So it goes for both favors, you know. I'm still glad that they did not go fully digital, just digital content.
I feel
and that's
like
it.
They will never go fully digital, because even if they quote unquote do go fully digital, remember my quotes, they will still have the physical copies that you could buy online.
Yeah.
And have it shipped.
I really hope that it's never going to change, because it's going to be very disappointing if it will change into just, you know, digital copies and that's it. But
I think I actually remember like watching a video talking about like 10 ways that technologies will change or something like that. And I think they actually talked about like how like physical copies will kind of be obsolete in some later future. Not entirely sure they said when. I actually don't remember when they said when in particular, but it's something that they've actually discussed about.
I mean, it's much easier to buy things digitally, even though, like, you know, electronics stores will be losing a lot of money in a way. At least that's what I think, because when things are going to be only digital, and, you know, we want a physical copy of a video game or a physical copy of a movie, because the issue with actually no, because like I was thinking, the issue with digital stuff is that your system or your PC can get corrupted, but there's always like the phones, there's backup. You always create backup in case something bad happens. It's not like that. It's not like that. Wait, it's not like that when you have a physical copy, because you know you have shit ton of movies that you can rewatch, and you know it's always there on your shelf, and you know when you like reinstall, when you reinstall a system or something like that, and you had a problem with your system, and you pretty much how do you say it? Let's say your computer is corrupted as hell, and you cannot boot it up. How do you say that word when you reinstall the entire system?
Isn't it just like a
Formatting?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, that's the word I was looking for. You'll have to format whatever you're using, and then you'll have to put everything that was lost back in, or either lose it all and won't be able to have access to it anymore.
Yeah, yes. Well, like this is what I say. I can understand it, but I look at it from a neutral standpoint, and I look at it with open mind. That's why I can see from both sides why it's good in general. And I'm not gonna say, oh well, this is horrible and this is why they no.
No, it's not
Both
that it's
sides are
horrible.
good. Both sides need to be kept.
Yeah.
I know, but there are those people who be, oh well, you know, digital is so bad and everything. But then I don't hear you complaining when you bootlegging stuff and everything, right?
No,
When you
I
watching
fucking hate
free anime
bootlegging.
online and crap, right?
Yeah.
Okay then. So I don't think
So it's like
You see how
people
that's being a
contradict
hypocrite?
themselves.
I was
I
just like, come on now.
know that like it's gonna be. I really hope that it's gonna stay. Like that physical copies are gonna stay because they feel like it feels like they have much more value,
It
and
has to. Why I'm saying it has to is because that's your quote unquote hardcore collectors right there. Your hardcore people who love to collect the physical copies and stuff. Those people are the ones who are gonna buy those, you know, special editions and deluxe editions and everything else like that.
dude, I fucking love collector's editions. Like, it's even much further in value to me, because it's like you have like the Destiny 2 one was actually very impressive to me. The Destiny 2 collector's edition that I've got was really awesome. Like, I've got this amazing bag. I've got a charging station that it's like works like a solar system, and some few other things that is just amazing. And
I
the
understand
GTA
how
5
that is.
one, the GTA 5 one where it came with like a hat and kind of like a thing where you keep money in, like a little bag. Or the
Yeah.
Overwatch one where it has a disc with the original soundtrack for Overwatch, extra downloadable content for a lot of other games besides Overwatch, kind of like greeting cards where
Yeah.
it shows like maps that were during the beginning of Overwatch, and of course the Soldier 76 statue, or the Sonic Mania collector's edition, where it came with a little plastic figure, not figure, but plastic statue of Sonic standing on the Sega Genesis, and get like some a cartridge with a ring in it. It's pretty amazing. I love. If there's something I love to do when mostly getting those things is knowing that I'm supporting the company
Haters.
that makes those games, because you'd obviously also want to buy something that is interesting to you, that's appealing to you. And the main reason why I was also worried about, why I was worried about, all these physical copies myself, was because it's just like when you compare the two things, like the recent ones and the older ones, it feels like I mean, it feels like it was much more interesting.
Why it was
Even
more
though-
why it was more interesting to us mostly because, like I said, we didn't have digital back then, and it came with everything. Literally,
Yeah.
it came with everything to where you had because you look at it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even back then it was just like, okay, it comes with the full game and you unlock stuff. Okay. Flashback to today,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay, get it, but then you got DLCs.
Yeah, I don't like. It's actually a perfect example.
Hold on. I didn't say that people would like it or not, but I'm saying, look at how it is.
Yeah. Actually, a great example for DLCs is Sims, actually. Sims was a very great example for DLCs because The Sims had all of these expansion packs. And, I mean, I was not that much of a Sims player back when I was a kid. I was introduced to Sims back in 2007 or 2006, something around there. And I used to love playing Sims 1, and obviously I pirated those games, even though I actually want to get the physical copies because I love The Sims and I love that. I mean, the original, the first Sims, that's the one that I actually like. The rest of them I didn't really get connected to too much. And yeah, I know that there's, like, when it comes to DLCs, people don't like that too much. I personally prefer when a game is being released and you get, you know, the full content, and you just have to unlock it by, I don't know, buying a certain thing or completing the game in a certain way. That makes it much more interesting rather than, you know, having to pay money for a DLC for extra levels and stuff like that, because it kind of feels unfair at the end of the day, because, hey, I bought a game. I want to get this game with, you know, its full content, and so I will have to work hard in the game in order to unlock the extra content. But I'm glad that not too many companies are doing this, the whole DLC thing, or they either do DLCs but they are free.
Yep.
Because, like, it's kind of cheating on you in one way, but in one way it's smarter for the company to do such thing, because at the end of the day, even though you're not pleased with buying DLCs, you'll still get those DLCs at the end of the day, because if you're very interested in that, if you're very interested in that series that you're playing, you will get that DLC for sure.
And that's another thing that I looked at, because I was the typical type of person like everybody else who was mad as hell, like, man, what the fuck are we buying here? This shit should be free. I mean, hell, looking back then, because we used to have games, and then I just thought about it for a second. I was just like, damn, they do update the game a lot, and we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you have to say, Noah?
Yeah, I definitely get like what everybody's saying. Like, I actually, because like my first console was the original PlayStation, like probably like when we first got it at Christmas, like 2003. And yeah, like a lot of the stuff that, you know, it was already there. And then when I looked at DLC initially, I just like, you know, I didn't really care much for it, but if there was something I did like, I'd be like, hey, you know, I should probably get that. And, you know, that's something I like to do. I mean, I actually remember like when I got, I think it was like Batman Arkham Origins for Wii U. It actually came with the free like code for some of the Deathstroke DLC. And I thought, you know, something like that is actually pretty cool. They did that every now and then. But, you know, I can understand why they don't do it all the time, because sometimes they want you to actually try and get that if you really want to. But it's not like this stuff is mandatory or anything like that, because
Yeah.
I think that would just be a bad, you know, business practice. if they try to make it where DLC is mandatory and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I really hope that it's not gonna be, that it won't change in a bad way. But I'm pretty sure that things are, probably gonna get better, and I really hope that they will keep the whole digital copies and stuff like that, because as a gamer, as a collector and as a gamer, and as a future game developer, hint, hint, I want to kind of create a museum in a way for video games. And it's going to be very interesting how from era to era, how video games changed in terms of the physical copies and in terms of its gameplay values. So, even though I'm not that pleased with physical copies these days, I will be getting physical copies because I love physical copies, and it's something that I must have. It's something that I crave for, and I bet that a lot of other people are too.
That's why it won't go away. Because so many people are passionate about physical copies, and to be honest, physical copies will spend a whole lot more money on it than digital copies.
Yeah.
So with that, deluxe edition, unlimited edition, everything like that.
Whatever kind of edition that they have.
Yeah, when you collect that physical copy of it, pay a whole lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, on the other hand, there are people that are not interested in physical copies because it's like, it takes a lot of room in their house and stuff like that, and they prefer digitally. But, yeah. I think this is the end of the discussion. I personally really enjoyed this. Anything else you guys want to say?
Kind of going back to like how it was like the older games where they had like some of the booklets and stuff. I actually remember it's like with the original Jak and Daxter, for example, the actual booklet was an entire like huge ass map. I actually still have it framed to this day, actually, where I have it framed and everything. Like that kind of stuff is actually pretty cool.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. My leaving words is that, hey, why we love physical copies is because they took the time, they made art on every single page they had and everything like that. I get it, understand it, I love it too and everything. Also, this is just a conversation. Please don't take it, don't take things too literally. Don't, take things out of hand. This is just from our standpoint, our opinion. So, don't, if you're watching this, don't, come in the comment section and be, you don't have the same, you don't have the same thought process as I do, blah, 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 blah. I'm so angry at you.
I feel like that in itself would be getting into a completely different topic, which I'm sure we may or may not get onto, but,
trust me.
All the feedback
that might trigger a lot of people.
Okay, all the feedback is welcome, even if it triggers people, even if it isn't. You're free to post your opinion in the conversation, in the chat, in the comment section. Tell us whatever you feel. How do you feel about this entire situation? What do you think about this entire situation? And what do you think that companies should do in the future in order to save? I don't even know how to say the word for it. Like, isn't it preserve? Like, to kind of keep it. I kind of don't know how to say that word. Preserve the physical copies in order to make it still happening in the future. But yeah,
what I'm saying is, type your opinions and stuff. Just don't get too wild with it.
Yeah,
practically no flame wars.
You guys start to fight in the comment section.
Nah, I mean, obviously, things are gonna get removed. So,
I mean, to put it simply, no flame wars.
Yeah, you guys can have conversation, and also, I will be putting a link in the description to our Twitter account and to our Facebook account. So you guys can follow us, and guys can have discussions on there. And we might actually open a Discord channel for you guys, so you can, join Discord and, have fun in there and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very happy that you guys listen to this conversation, and I really hope you guys are gonna leave some really nice feedback that we will be looking forward to. So yeah, thanks for Press Start to Play 01, 1UP XD6, 1UP 20 XD6.
AKA Dark Spectre.
There you go. Yeah, Dark Spectre. I don't know whatever account you want to use, but whatever. And
It's
your host.
either one, really. It doesn't matter to me.
And your host, Dingo Crash. So, also, you guys should be looking for my 10th year anniversary live stream, which I will possibly put the link in the chat. In the description, so you guys can look it up. So, yep.
What a way to self-promote.
Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave the feedback. And if you're a new watcher, don't forget to subscribe. Don't be shy. And follow our content, because there's plenty of more to come. And this weekend, actually tomorrow, that is, if this is going to be uploaded by tomorrow, there's going to be a live stream of Destiny 2. So stay tuned, bye people. It's the wow, I fucked up on the okay.
What the hell?
So stay tuned and join us in the live stream and follow future content. So bye bye.
Ciao.